Hello and welcome to SAR Histories, where on the channel today we will be visiting the ancient Roman city of Wroxeter. Wroxeter Roman city was once the fourth largest town in Roman Britain. For much of its history, Wroxeter had been farmland and was once the capital of the Cornevi tribe, who controlled much of what is now Shropshire and Cheshire. After the Roman invasion of Britain in 43 AD by the Emperor Claudius, a legionary fortress was established in the area. This fortress would house a legion, around 5,000 infantry and 500 cavalry. A community of families and merchants would have quickly developed alongside the fortress. When the Roman army abandoned the fortress to relocate in Chester, they levelled the defences but left some of the buildings intact along with the street grid. This formed the nucleus of the city. Over the years, the city grew to around the size of 78 hectares, though it could have been larger as research is ongoing. It was abandoned in the 7th century when the region was conquered by the Anglo-Saxon kingdom of Mercia. In 1859, archaeologists began excavating and uncovered the remains of a large public bath. Later excavations uncovered the forum and houses, none of which are visible today. The largest section to have survived through the centuries is the Old Work. The most prominent features are the double bands of red tiles separated by neat stonework. Visible on the south-facing side are traces of 3 arches and projecting piers. The square holes that you see were where wooden poles were inserted through the walls for scaffolding. Passing through the old works brings you into the complex of the bathhouse. Here would have been multiple rooms of differing functions, ranging in temperature. There was an unheated room known as the frigarium, and rooms where bathers oiled their skin and scraped it clean, along with 2 cold plunge pools. The remains of the hypercore system can still be seen today. The floor to the warm and steamy rooms would have been on top of these pillars. Hot air would have been blasted through from a furnace outside, circulating around the pillars and heating the floor to a desired temperature. The ruins of the baths have now been exposed for over 150 years, and as a result they are poorly preserved. In places, the walls have had to be rebuilt from the ground up, as is shown by modern tiles at the ground level. Conservation work began in the 1950s, lasting for 20 years. The site was restored to look as it did when it was first uncovered. The rebuilding has made it difficult to distinguish the different phases of the baths, but it is clear that the western bath suite was extended to fill the gap between the main suite and the latrine in the 3rd or 4th century. The last element of the original baths was an open-air pool in which bathers would use as an outdoor plunge pool. There is some evidence too that the main bath suite was abandoned and the building stone robbed out, perhaps as early as the 4th century. This may have been because it was too expensive to heat or repair, and it proved more sensible to cannibalise the materials from these rooms to expand the smaller bath suites. The market formed an important part of the bath complex. It provided somewhere for the bathers to get food and drink for their evening meal. Finds of bones suggest that goods on sale in this market are likely to have been high quality cuts of meat, fish and game, rather than just jewellery or trinkets. Markets were generally held every 9 days, although the exact arrangements for Wroxeter are unknown. All manner of goods were on sale here, including items made in the city, as well as those from further afield. The 2 square rooms with central piers faced out onto the street. There is no visible clue to their function, but they clearly had wide openings that were probably closed with wooden shutters. The piers supported a vaulted roof and rooms above. These were probably bars or shops selling refreshments where bathers could get a drink or a meal as part of their visit to the baths. The excavations at Wroxeter have generated one of the largest collections of artefacts in Roman Britain. Many of these artefacts are on display in the museum and are fascinating to look at. Work is continuing on these objects as they reveal a great deal about trade and how people dressed over the centuries. People looked at the image of the emperor and his family on coins and would copy their appearance. Men would grow beards or shave following the emperor's lead. Women would copy the often elaborate hairstyles of the rich. The Wroxeter mirror and the numerous hairpins found in the town would have been used in this way. Bronzesmiths made brooches in many different styles, and it was common in Britain to decorate these with coloured enamel. Study of the artefacts tells us that the later period of women changed their hairstyles, needing fewer pins, and that they wore more bracelets. Across the road is the colonnade remains of the Forum, an important building used for multiple functions such as market stalls, administrative purposes and magistrates' courts. In the next video I will explore the Roman villa, which was built using authentic methods in 2010. If you have enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you all next time. Until then, goodbye.